guys, Eugene Johnson, founder of Make Your Mind an Asset, where we help executives, entrepreneurs, business owners be able to master their thought process so they can turn their mind into an asset instead of a liability and create success in all areas of life. In today's episode, this is episode number 11, super excited. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about how to take your business to the next level. And we all have that next level. No matter where you are in your life, no matter how much success you currently have, even if you created success, you go up, then you plateau. And then you go up, and then you plateau. It happens to everybody. So we're all looking for the next level of breakthrough. Whether you're trying to break through into the six-figure realm, I remember that process, or whether you're trying to break into the seven-figure yearly realm, in that process, or whether you're trying to break into the nine-figure and the 10-figure and beyond, right? We all have new levels that we're trying to overcome. And I don't know if you've ever been in a scenario where you're looking around and you're wondering, why isn't it happening for me? I'm trying to break through. I'm doing everything necessary. I'm putting in the work. I'm putting in the activity. I'm doing exactly what I should be doing, but I feel like I'm not getting any movement. I'm looking at people, all over the place, whether it be on social media or whatever, and I'm saying, man, it's happening for them. Why isn't it happening for me? I feel like I'm just as good. And I've been there. I remember trying to get my business to the next level. I remember, a few years back, I was trying to go, I think this was back in 2008. I was trying to take my business to another level. And for 3 years, year in and year out, I was trying to move to this next level. And it wouldn't budge. Maybe I would get a little bit close, and I would fall backwards, and a little bit close, and I would fall backwards. And I was wondering, what the heck is going on? I mean, everybody is doing it. Everybody's succeeding. Why isn't it working for me? And so I said, okay, I need to take a step back. And I remember after 3 years, it was coming up to close to my birthday. Maybe I was a couple months out of my birthday. And I said, I am not going to go another year saying maybe next year. Because I had gone 3 years saying maybe next year. So I said, you know what? From now on, this is what I'm going to do. And I created a strategy, and I laid out point for point, what are the things that I'm going to focus on? And I'm not going to do anything else besides focus on these 3 things for the next 90 days. And that's what I did. I focused on those things, and in 90 days, I was able to take my business to that next level that I have been trying to do for the last 3 years. What happened? What did I do? Well, one thing, I stopped doing one common mistake that a lot of people do, and I'll talk about that towards the end of the video. But here are the 3 strategies. And before I get into the 3 strategies, let me tell you what most people say. Most people say in order to move to the next level, it's about working smart, not working hard. No, whoever made that up, that's the silliest. I just don't get it. It's just a dumb philosophy. It's not about working smart versus working hard. It's about working smart and working hard. You doing everything that you need to do, but also working smart and how you do it. So it all works together, right? So here are the 3 things that I used, and here are the 3 things that I implemented that allowed me to take my business to the next level immediately. And it's when I drowned out all of the things that didn't matter, and I focused on these 3 things that actually mattered, that's when my business took off. So here's the first thing I focused on: strategy. Now, I know when people hear this, they're saying, well, okay, strategy. I'm strategizing all over the place. No, see, here's the problem with 1,000 strategies, because this is what most people do. I'll give an example. For New Year's resolution, people write down the 35,000 things that they want to do the next year. Look, our minds don't work like that. The way our brains function, we need an absolute focus. We can't be torn into 18 different directions. So you got to get a singular focus and a singular strategy and saying, this is the strategy I'm going to implement. I'm not going to worry about letting anything else, because guess what? You can hear a bunch of different strategies from a bunch of different people, from a bunch of different books, and it's great. All of them are good. You got to choose the strategy that works for you and then implement that strategy and be focused in it. So you got to map out your activity in that strategy. You got to say, okay, here's what I'm going to do. Here's the few things, and not 20,000 things. Here are the 3 things that I'm going to focus on, and I'm going to do. What are the 3 most important things to determine your business's growth? What is the 3 most important things? What are the absolute things that you could do? And they're probably going to be 10. Dial them down to what are the 3 most important that you're going to spend all your time focusing on. Don't mean that doesn't mean you're not going to do the other 10. It means that these are the three things you're going to be intently focused on because they make the biggest determining factor to your business's growth, your business's bottom line, right? So take those three things, focus on them intently, and then map out your activity for each one of those three things. What am I going to do here? What am I going to do here? How am I going to do it? When am I going to do it? What's my time frame in doing it? What's my deadline? What's the goals that I want to achieve by doing it? You got to map all of that out and get a specific strategy where you cut out the noise and you get focused on the things that make your business grow. 90% of the time, most people's business are going all over the place. Like my friend John Addison said, they're doing a lot of activity, a world of activity, but they're like an octopus on roller skates, right? A whole bunch of activity, but they're not going anywhere. So you don't want to do that. Don't focus on 18,000 things. Just get the three that are most important to your growth. Focus on those, strategize on those, and then allow yourself to have a map out of the activity and the goals and the processes that need to be in place in order to make those things run effectively. The second thing is to execute. Now, it sounds like this is elementary, Eugene. Come on now. Strategy, execute. What I love about Vince Lombardi is every single year he walked up to his people and he said, look, team, this is a football. Hall of Fame coach, probably one of the best football coaches that the world has ever seen. And he walked up to his team every year, and these guys know what football. They play football. They wouldn't have been on his team if they didn't. But he walked up to them and he said, this is a football. Because you got to go back to the basics. Now, what do I mean when I say execute? You've got to not only get focused on the strategy, but you've got to be able to execute that strategy. You've got to do what you said you were going to do. You've got to fill your calendar with the right activity. Not the activity of doing all of those things, getting down back and saying, here are the things that I need to do. Now you got to execute. You got to do what you said. Here's the problem in today's society. In today's society, all we hear are people with great ideas, especially with Silicon Valley and, Facebook and Uber and Airbnb and all of these amazing companies, and everybody's saying, I'm going to be the next tycoon because I went to Stanford, I went to Yale, and I'm super smart, or I understand this technology. I'm going to be able to create a company that's going to take off and be billions of dollars, and I'm going to be the next Facebook. It doesn't work like that. Here's the problem. Most people don't realize that, yes, the ideas are great, but ideas don't mean anything unless you execute. This is why I'm not afraid. I got business ideas all the time, and I talk about them freely. And some people say, aren't you afraid that somebody's going to go and steal your idea? No, I'm not afraid. You know why? Because they're not going to execute. I already know it, because most people don't execute. So what you need to do is learn to fill your calendar with the proper activity. Execute on that and do what you said you were going to do. If you put it on your calendar, be committed to it. Most people are as committed as a kamikaze pilot on his 39th mission. Most people are not. You got to be committed. Commit to what you want to do, because that's what's going to create success for you. And then the third and the final thing is double down on that activity. Double down. You got to work your face off. I mean, you got to put in that effort. And I'm talking about real effort. And it's not about, sleeping 18, I only sleep, 18 minutes a day. Now, look, let's be realistic here. You can't go without sleep for years, sleeping 1 or 2 hours a day. That's just not going to work. So you got to be effective with the time that you have and the goals that you have and the people that you have around you that you need to make sure are happy. You got to put all of those things in perspective. And then once you get a plan that fits into all of those aspects, then you say, here's what my time frame is going to look like. Here's what all our activity means to me. All our activity means to you, it might be 7 days a week. You might be single, no family, no responsibilities. You might say 7 days a week, I'm going to work from 7 in the morning to midnight every single day. And you're going to put it in, and you got enough time to sleep, and that might be great. If you have a family, your wife and kids might say, whoa, that's too much. And I'm the type of person, I don't believe that you need to sacrifice your family or your responsibilities or your religious obligations or whatever in order to create success. I believe that you should be able to do all of those things, whether your health, some people, say, I want to make all of this money, and then their health is going to the crapper, right? You don't want that to happen. You want to be able to be lively and be there for your family. So you got to have all of these things in perspective. So when you double down on your activity, you got to double down on your activity with a plan in order to make sure that everybody around you is happy. So what does that look like to you? That might look like Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. And when I talk about all out massive activity, I'm talking about in the time frames that you slot, because some people, you don't need 80 hours a day. You really don't. What you need to do is be intentional about the time that you do have. Because some people, they say, oh man, I got this 10 hours a day where I'm going to be working. But then they only really put in 2 or 3 hours of actual work. The other time is fluff. So you got to find times, you got to find the ability to knock out of the fluff, get the fluff out of the process, and really spend your focused time. If it's going to be 5 hours a day, 10 hours a day, 7 hours a day, if it's going to be 30 hours a week or 40 hours a week, you pick what's best for you, but double down on that activity and work your face off. Work like you've never worked before. Put in all of the effort, everything that you can possibly do to make sure that you get everything done in that allotted time frame. And here's the biggest mistake that most people make. Most people try to have the quantum leap mentality. They all worried about trying to get to the top of the mountain in one leap. It's like, here's the steps to get to success. And instead of taking step by step by step by step, because obviously, yes, it takes longer to go step by step by step by step. Everybody's trying to make the quantum leap jump to the top of the staircase. And the problem with that is, this is something that I did. I said, oh, I'm going to make it. I'm going to the next level. Boom, fall. And then I tried it again, and I'm going to the next, and constantly, year after year, month after month, week after week, day after day, everybody is trying to make those quantum leap jumps. And the problem with that is every time they try to make that jump, that quantum leap jump, they're trying to exert so much energy trying to get to the top of the mountain in one leap that at some point in time, they get burnt out and they quit. So you don't want to have that mentality. You're not trying to change your business in a day. You're trying to change your business over time. You're trying to get to a certain level. Most people overestimate what they can do in a month or a year and underestimate what they can do in 3 or 5 or 10 years. So have the long-term mentality. Say that you're in business for the long haul. You're not in business to get rich tomorrow. This is not a get-rich-quick scheme. This is not tomorrow I'll be a millionaire. Doesn't work like that. Nothing in this world works like that. You've got to put in the work and put in the effort every single day in order to have that next level growth in your business. So how do you move to the next level? The biggest mistake, don't try to have the quantum leap effect. Look at your business in a realistic but ambitious way. So don't say, realistically, I think it'll take me 25 years to get to, no. So if it takes longer than it should, you should also adjust there as well, right? If you're in a business and you're supposed to be at a certain level in 5 years, 10 years, 15 years down the line, and you're not there, you've got to readjust and you've got to make pivots. You got to make moves. Some businesses and some people are in a year and a 2-year time frame before they're saying, this is not working, I need to adjust. And that's okay. Sometimes adjustments are necessary. I was just with a gentleman who was leading a multi-billion-dollar corporation, and their original idea on how to create success was the one way they were going to do it. And this was the way that they were excited about. And then they realized doing the numbers and doing the math and understanding the market and understanding the timing, they realized that this go-to-market strategy was not working or was not going to work at the level that they wanted it to be in order to become a billion-dollar company. So they had to pivot. They had to move. So sometimes you have to move. Sometimes you have to take a little bit of a detour and go into a different direction. But all in all, you got to look at the time frame. And if it's too short or too long, you've got to understand where that lies in your goals, right? So don't have the quantum leap effect. Don't try to get to the next level in one day. Take your time. Get there in a reasonable amount of time and move yourself to the next level. So here's my action step for you. What I want you to do right now is think about what you want to do this year. Then say, what do I need to do this month to get to my yearly goal? Then say to yourself, what do I need to do this week to get to my monthly goal? And all I want you to do is create a strategy for this week. What's your strategy that you're going to focus on to get your business to the next level just this week? Only focus on this week. And once you find out what you want to do this week, then say, what am I going to do today? But get your strategy and then execute it on a day-to-day basis. So get your strategy for the week, execute it on a day-to-day basis. That's what I want you to do. And that's the immediate action step that you can take today to take your business to the next level. And then the end of this month, then you can do it for next month. Then you can do it for the next 90 days. And then you'll have the ability to know how to stretch this thing out. And this is how you achieve every goal that you ever wanted to achieve and get your business to the next level is by having the proper strategy, then executing that strategy, and then doubling down on your efforts. So thank you so much for your time. I appreciate every minute that you spent taking a listen to this video. I hope you got something out of it. I hope you go out there and take your business to the next level. Comment below. Tell me what you think. Like this, share this, do whatever you got to do. But I appreciate your time. Once again, this is Eugene Johnson. Remember, let no man steal your vision because no man gave it to you. God bless. I've been working so